Hi everybody, welcome to a new episode of Bass Habits. Today we're gonna talk about Jason Newsted, former bass player of Metallica. This wasn't an easy video to make. Consider how popular Jason is and the number of requests I got for a video about him. It took me 45 episodes to get here. This video is gonna be quite different from the others of the series. There won't be any scale or lick or amp setting or special move. You wanna know why? If this was going to be a typical Bass Habits video, it would be over in less than a minute. To sound like Jason Newsted of Metallica, you only need to do two things. Double the rhythm guitar 100% of the time and turn yourself down in the mix. As I already pointed out in my Ian Hill video, to review a player I need 4 or 5 things to talk about. A specific box, for example, an unusual technique, a favorite scale, a recurring songwriting choice, or a special tone. But the ugly truth is that in the Newsted era of Metallica, from a mere musical standpoint, the bass has pretty much zero importance. Seriously, I went over every song Metallica have recorded from 1987 to 2001, and the only songs featuring some significant bass that I found are Devil's Dance, King Nothing, The God That Failed, The Out Left Torn, and of course, My Friend of Misery. Nothing else. 5 bass lines aren't enough to trace a profile of a player, and on top, besides My Friend of Misery, all these bass lines have a similar structure and all utilize a minor pentatonic scale. Songs like Holier Than Thou and Until It Sleeps have an awesome bass tone, but if the bass is just following the guitar, that's a guitar riff, not the bass part. So from a songwriting standpoint, there's nothing to say about Jason Newsted. At first, I thought it was due to the infamous no bass bullshit Metallica policy, so I went on and checked out some Voivod, the thrash metal band Jason joined after leaving Metallica. His bass is mixed loud as shit, but again, apart from a couple of intros, there's nothing to say. After all, it might just be the way he feels about it. In the end, the job of a bassist is to provide foundation, not to play flashy lines and steal the spotlight. Does that mean he's a bad bassist? Of course not. He was the bassist of the most popular metal band of all time. How could that be? Go listen to some of the isolated bass tracks of Justice for All. His tone was brutal, his playing tight and perfect. Keeping up with James Hetfield's riffing, it's quite a task. Jason followed the guitar most of the time, and according to Ian Hill, that is one of the elements that make a band heavy. The bassist has to step back for the benefit of the music. So how come Jason Newsted is such a popular bass player? Well, contrary to the albums where the bass is hardly audible, for live shows, Jason was loud as hell, and on top of the regular set, he was given a 10-minute long bass solo. Man, 10 minutes! For a band with pretty much no recognizable bass lines, that's quite a thing. Can you think of another bass player that can keep the audience interested for 10 minutes? So Jason had finally the opportunity to showcase his melodic chops. The melodies the man can pull together on a bass guitar are pretty impressive and feature some really cool and creative arpeggios that could have made some really good instrumental parts. Instead of getting technical and try to impress the audience, Jason utilizes open strings to create some very cool sounds and set the atmosphere for the song to come. Number 2, the live performances. Jason's live performances were almost impossible to top. The ability to bring life and energy to a live show is not something that many musicians, no matter how talented, have. Metallica is well known for being a two-man studio operation, but on stage for the duration of his tenure, Jason Newsted was the soul of the band. His hulking presence and beefy tone complemented Hetfield, and his extra aggression underpinned the band's muscular charisma. On top, he always seemed to be in a good mood, which made him a magnetic figure on stage.
Jason is in a good mood, as usual.
He also sang great and energetic backing vocals, and in a few occasions he even took over lead vocals duties. Number 3. The fans connection. Well, a band ain't just about music. Jason was notoriously into spending time with the fans, to the point where the rest of the band made fun of him. Jason stated that back in the day he would spend every minute he could with people. Pretty different from today's meet and greets, right? Jason was the new guy in the band. He was the kid that came out of nowhere. He was basically a fan of the band that ended up being in the band. And I think that fans could identify with that, because they felt he could have been any one of them, and I think people sensed that. In recent years, he got even more sympathy from the new generations of Metallica fans, especially over the Justice for All bullshit, to the point where somebody actually remixed the album with the bass guitar loud as it should have been. By the way, did you know what Hetfield told Guitar World in 2008 about the whole thing? Jason tended to double my parts, so it was hard to tell where my guitar started and his bass left off. We were always battling for the same space in the mix. So yeah, instead of cutting out some low frequencies on the rhythm guitar and making some space for Jason, they just decided to erase completely the hard work of the newest guy in the band. Way to go! Number 4, he had the balls to walk away. On January 17, 2001, Jason Newsted looked like the maddest man on the planet. After 15 years in what would become the biggest metal band in history, Jason Newsted announced that he was out. Without getting into the actual reasons to do something like that, it really takes some serious balls. And this is not Sting walking away from the police into a pretty much guaranteed lifelong solo career. Jason knew that he was walking away from his rock star status, but he did it anyway, and this is something that earned him respect. Jason Newsted is a formidable musician, disciplined and direct, and he was perfect to bring the bottom end for the band's increasingly technical music. Most importantly, his attitude fit Metallica's outlook and brought a lot in terms of heaviness. He was a beast on stage. The fact that he could come in and fill Cliff Burton's shoes and become a fan favorite pretty much immediately speaks volumes about the man. For the legions of Metallica fans around the world, he was the best performer Metallica ever had, and is still missed today. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment and follow me on Instagram.